what's up? It's ORRION online, back at it again with Homeboy Talking. I'm here with my co-host.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? My name is Deon Donovan, creator of the Tales of Florida comic book series, also on YouTube with Behind the Scene Podcast, and this is my co-host.
It's your boy, Stinnette, a.k.a. Hybrid Rainbow on the Resetto video game forums. I currently do not have any Twitter handle or Facebook page right now, but I will be creating one in the future and letting you guys know what that is in an upcoming episode.
All right, so what's been going on in the world these days? It's the consumption of media, and the biggest consumption of media and the biggest distributor of media, well, I wouldn't say the biggest, but one of the biggest is AMC Theaters. They've been doing a lot of things to try to keep up afloat. Lately, they've announced that they were going to do rentals of their movie theaters to a party of 20 at max. Basically, renting out their movie theaters for about $99 with extreme old movies for you, and the price goes up the more new the movie is, such as I don't know, possibly you're streaming Mulan. I don't know how much this is going to cost or something like that, but I know for a fact that they're doing all these sorts of things, and if you're pretty cool with the owners and the managers of AMC, you might be able to throw on a big ass party, such as maybe bringing in your consoles and streaming in movie theaters. But that's only if you're cool with the managers and all this stuff like that. I know that I could be able to pull that and make it happen, but other than that, it's really this is what AMC is trying to do. Is they're trying to claw up as much money as they can, because of the fact the matter is the movie theater industry is struggling. Because of the fact the matter is AMC just announced that they will be going bankrupt because they cannot keep up afloat if we continue to continue to pull through with the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, it not just affected movie industries, but it's affecting the whole entire world. This is the new normal. It's going to be a while to see if the AMC is going to be able to keep afloat. Not just AMC, but the movie industry in general. Such as the movie going experience. Because if it's not just AMC, we're looking at a couple of movie theaters offhand. Was it Regal, Cinemark, and a couple other low-key theaters out there and stuff like that? They're all going to be struggling because it's going to be hard to bring them in the door, especially when those chairs in the theaters, those seats, those retractable, comfortable seats that you like to put your popcorn and soda in, you do not have a 6-foot distance from each other. You could sit there and implement, but those ticket sales that's trying to keep the theaters afloat with a small percentage, knowing that the biggest percentage that these theaters take home is out of concession stands. And if you got a lot of people that's not spending a lot of money in the concession stands, stuff like that, it's going to cripple the movie theater industry. And the fact of the matter is, AMC is really clawing. They're scratching and clawing, trying to keep up on that mountain, but it's looking like they might fall off, and AMC is going to be doomed because of their bankruptcy reports, because of the pandemic and crippling the movie-going industry of the coronavirus, and we're not looking at any normalcy going on till possibly 2022. What I want to know is I want to get you guys' points on what you try to keep up afloat, or just your thoughts in general about these theaters going through these hard times. Who wants to take over?
Well, I think it's a shame, man, because I believe the movie theater experience is one of the few rare examples of complete immersion and entertainment. When you think about you're staying at home playing a video game, you have your phone, or you're watching a movie or Netflix at home, you still have your phone, you have distractions. Even if you read a book in a library, there's still people passing you by, et cetera, et cetera. When you're in a movie theater, those lights darken, and you have that big screen in front of you, you have your food in front of you, you are completely immersed in that film. You are completely immersed in that director's vision. And for that to go away, I think it's a damn shame, dude. This pandemic is really hurting the movie business, the movie Hollywood industry. You got Warner Brothers going up to bat this past summer. You have Christopher Nolan basically putting up that movie Tenet as a sacrificial lamb to see if people were able to go back to the theaters, to see who's willing to go back as kind of an early rate. Christopher Nolan's a visionary director. He's behind Inception, the Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, etc. Interstellar, yes. Interstellar was dope. Great films. And he even opened up the discussion. He tried to pitch for the government to protect theaters, to consider movie theaters as essential business. He made a pitch. He made an open discussion about that, feeling that the movie theater experience, movies are an integral part of just being a human being, being an American, etc., that whole family kind of vibe. And you have people like Patty Jenkins, who's the director of the new Wonder Woman film. She doesn't want her film to go to streaming. She doesn't want her film to go to HBO Max. She feels like her movie should be experienced on the big screen as intended. And I've been to the movie theaters twice now during this pandemic. I saw Fox's New Mutants. Yeah, don't ask me why. I'm a fucking X-Men completionist. I risked my life to see that garbage film, but it's my life. I can do what I want, as I previously said in my one of my podcasts on Behind the Scene. And then I went to see Tenet, and Tenet was one of the most unique theater experiences, movie experiences I've ever had. Christopher Nolan, quick sidebar, was on his shit on that one. That thing's a Rubik's Cube of a movie, and I don't think watching that at home would have been the same experience as it was in the theater. And he made that film to be in the theater. So for him to kind of Warner Brothers to be up to bat, to try to entice people back, and it failed. Tenet, still, it's been out for like, I don't know, maybe like 2 months now, still hasn't even equaled to the open box office opening of Inception. And that's a scary tale, man. People are not going back. And there was no need to reserve the seats because no one was there to begin with. So it was like 6 or 7 people in the whole theater. It was like there was no need to social distance at all. And there's no need to, because no one is feeling enticed to go back in these theaters at all. And it's a real shame. And who knows when this is going to stop, because people don't feel comfortable. Yeah. And you already have the delays. You got James Bond, No Time to Die being delayed. You have Black Widow being delayed. You got Avatar Part 2, right? Delayed. Jurassic Park, delayed. All these delays till 2021, 2022, The Batman, all these films. And the movie theaters are like, what the fuck? Because you got nothing to entice people to go to see it. Yeah. And it's almost to the point like, why did you even reopen up? You're not even making enough money you're in the red. Yeah. You're spending more money than you are getting more money from business. So it's a sticky situation. They're basically bleeding dry here. Yeah. And who's going to come to save them, and what film is going to do that? I don't think any film is going to do that. I don't even think getting a vaccine for this shit will even help, because people are still going to feel sketched out. People are still going to feel uncomfortable. And you can't pack those seats enough to get the income back on these films. So this whole Hollywood movie industry is very, it's scary. It's on the verge of collapse for however long this continues. No business can go without a year or two without any business at all. Like, no one can come to a halt like that. So maybe someone else can pick them up. I don't care if they made an Infinity War 3 and all the MCU actors and Return of Iron Man. I don't know. I don't care what film's coming out, bro. It is going to take a miracle to get people packed in the theater like that again. Those box office records and numbers may probably never be passed again. Who knows? Maybe it'll be another 50, 60 years. Who knows when you're going to see box office returns like that? And you really think about it. The streaming, everyone's now investing into their streaming platforms. Everyone's now loaded up on that because people are staying home. People are not going out. So they're adjusting. They're slowly adjusting. Disney put Soul on Disney Plus. They put Mulan on video on demand, and then Disney Plus releasing it on that later. So everyone's adjusting a little bit to these circumstances. And now there was a little bit of a war between our streaming movies, the future. Are they valued as quality movies? Well, now we're getting that era rushed in very quickly thanks to the pandemic. And that's all I got to really say about it. I think that, I think honestly in the future for AMC, and these other companies, I think the movie theater experience is going to be like going to the opera. I think it's going to be like a retro event to do. You put on your suit and tie, your girl put on her nice dress, you guys go to the theater, pay $50 a pop. You know what I'm saying? You get the nice curtains in front of the screen, and they roll back and shit like that. I think old school. You know what I'm saying? That old school Hollywood glam type event. Like, I feel like that's going to be the future if this keeps it up. And those who are willing to pay will go for that, and others will stream shit at home. What do you got going, man? What do you think about it all?
I mean, well, pretty much off the bat, like off rip. It really is the battle between the movie theaters and streaming, because one of the biggest things was when these movie theaters started to put out streaming and everything like that. Like, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but there was a point where AMC was beefing with Universal for a little bit because Universal was going to put out Fast and Furious on digital and all the other movies, and AMC was like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on now, like we got to discuss this first. Like, you taking money out of our bread, but the crazy thing about that is that these studios started seeing, oh, wait a minute, people are actually willing to pay $15 to sit at home and watch a brand new movie at home and get. So from that point, it was almost kind of like boom, boom. It's a done deal for movie theaters. Me personally, I'm not going to go so far to say that the movie experience in general is done. I still think the movie experience will live on, because as long as there's still big ticket movies, blockbuster films out there, stuff that we haven't seen or want to see, there's always going to be a desire for people to want to go to movie theaters and go watch it. Is there going to be anything to possibly save AMC? Nah. It's a wrap. It's done. Literally the only thing that could possibly save AMC at this point is if they put out like a vaccine like by the end of this year, and they were showing like a 95 to 100% just efficacy rate of it working, and people were actually getting better, and it was showing if you take this vaccine you'll get better. Then people might be a little bit better about going to a movie theater or going to a place with high traffic areas, sitting down with people and watching a movie. But just like to go to your point, if we're looking towards 2022 as probably the earliest that we'll see movie theaters and malls and things open back up to the way it kind of was before, there's no way AMC can go there. Like I was just reading up it from before, apparently in this first quarter last year, AMC made like $4 billion just off of their sales, which most of that coming from concessions and their cut from ticket sales and whatnot. That's great for a movie theater. They've only made about a little over $1 billion this quarter since. That's terrible. Yeah. They had like 500 something million cash on hand. That's now down to almost 400 million. Like they're burning money, and there's nothing that they can do to stem the bleeding as long as this pandemic is going on. And so, just like you said, nobody wants to risk their lives to go out here and see a movie, even if it was, Infinity War 3 and the Return of Iron Man, or just something crazy like we're about to see Spider-Man and Venom fight or something like that. Like, okay, that's cool, but people rather just pay the $15 and sit at home and watch it in the safety of their own home instead of going out and worry about Joe Snuffy over here coughing, don't want to wear his mask. And now look, you saw Spider-Man versus Venom, but you only got like 2 days to live.
It's a popcorn.
Yo, right. You're choking on Corona. So with all that said and done, man, there's not really much that AMC can do at this point. Like I saw AMC was trying to do the little, for $99 you can go ahead and you and 20 of your peoples can rent out the movies. It's funny because I actually looked it up because I was tempted about possibly doing something like that for us. Yeah. But then I looked at the movies, and the movies that they got out, man, like they're not even really worth just straight basura. And I mean, a couple of them are brand new movies. Like I think there's a couple of horror movies that were coming out for October or whatnot for Halloween. But other than that, it wasn't even. It's not even really worth it. Not unless you really just want to watch Jurassic Park, where you and 20 of your boys laughing at the guy sitting on the toilet getting eaten by the T-Rex. But other than that, There's not much to say about AMC. I mean, AMC's looking bad. Regal, I know Regal just shut down all their theaters a few weeks ago once they found out that I forgot which movie it was, but what movie got pushed back, got delayed, and once that got delayed, Regal was like, all right, that's it, shut it down. We're not staying open.
White flag.
So, I mean, who knows? It's,
I got some talking points I wanted to add to it. My AMC just remodeled this shit. Okay, so they got a bar in there. They got red leather reclinable seats. They did a lot of tidying up and other stuff like that. The biggest thing I'm just not a fan of is them blacking out the poster boards. It looks tacky. It looks like shit, but it probably doesn't even matter anymore because now it's going to look like Demolition Man, where it's going to be the last media outlet that we're going to be able to enjoy. However, I want to go ahead and piggyback off of Deon's idealism on, I'm just going off of speculation. Giving it more of an opera theater experience, stuff like that, I felt like that maybe that would benefit to save the movie industry, even if AMC does not adopt it, which is I hope they would. But what if they turn it into a 5-star movie going experience, stuff like that, to keep up afloat, and movie ticket sales are up to like $30 to $50 and stuff like that, but it's more of a dress casual event type thing, where it's on a dress formal type event. We watch your goddamn monocle, and I'm here to watch Spider-Verse, and they got that shit going on. But to be honest with you, man, like we talked about it before with Spider-Man 3 as a speculated observation of what's been going on, what they're going to be doing with that existing Spider-Verse in the MCU. That could possibly bring my ass in the movie theaters. I'll be risking my life for it, but I'll be wearing my Spider-Man mask just to watch Spider-Man mask to watch this shit, and I'll be wearing my my Sam Raimi one.
Yeah, that would get the fanboys back.
But yeah, man, like I mean, some of these theaters, they've actually remodeled their whole thing, and I'm pretty sure they got to pay that back. I'm pretty sure, because I know so like for remodels and stuff like that, they take out loans to get that done. Now, regardless of what they do, man, even with the coronavirus going on and that's taking a bite out of the concession stands and stuff like that, man, nobody's really trying to trying to eat pop Corona, in theaters and stuff like that. But let's talk about things that, like, an added topic. Let's talk about things that could possibly, bring people back to the theaters, even after, let's say, quote unquote, they do solve the pandemic with a vaccine and stuff like that. What could bring people back? Now, one of the things that we've heard, as of recently, was that Tom Holland is the main actor of Uncharted, and what they're trying to do there, and a lot of these movies that are literally trying to go above and beyond to bring people back in the theaters, because let's just face it, these movies, they spend a huge budget so they can have it on the silver screen. But one of the topics that that's been brought to our attention is Tom Holland being in Uncharted, and how they're should be wrapping up things with that movie. And there's been a lot of things that's been coming out. You guys mentioned, Avatar 2 and another Jurassic World was supposed to be finished up, and was it Fast and Furious is going up to Fast 11 and shit.
I think there's 2 more Fast and Furious.
Yeah. And you got a couple more video game movies coming out to play. We're still looking at a Mario movie, and we're still looking at another Sonic movie and stuff like that. But in Monster Hunter, I just want to get you guys' points on, like, what. Well, I'm gonna look at you guys. I'm gonna be AMC. What's gonna take for you guys to come back?
I mean, honestly, at this point, the only thing that's gonna bring people back, honestly, is MCU. Either MCU or DC has to, like Joker 2, or go back and do a Justice League, but you bring Darkseid in, or like it has to be something like so big, like the spectacle has to be so huge that you would risk possibly going out and getting sick to go see this movie. Yeah. I feel like if the pandemic had happened last year when we got Endgame, that would have been one of those type of movies that would have got people to still come out to see it, even if, because it's so big, you can't ignore it. now that the first phase of the MCU is done and we're about to go into the second phase, they really don't have anything that's out yet that's really on that same level. Everything that we want to see that on that level is real talk, is TV shows. At this point, you got WandaVision with Scarlet Witch and Vision. You got Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's Disney Plus. You have Miss Marvel. That's Disney Plus. So you have all these different TV shows that, had they made movies off of them, probably would have got people to come out, but they're going to be TV shows. In terms of movies, you have The Eternals with Angelina Jolie. Okay.
No one cares about Eternals.
Okay. You have Black Panther 2. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. So they don't have anything movie-wise from the MCU that's going to get people to want to come out, except maybe Black Panther 2 and see what possibly comes from over there. But and then Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So there's nothing really on the horizon movie-wise that has people so hyped up to want to go out there and risk their lives and get sick to go ahead and see. Not unless we get the very next Avengers movie, and that's going to be years and years down the line at this point. So, I mean, I don't know.
I think I think you hit it on the head, man, with that, because you need spectacle. I mean, it was already getting to that point where only spectacles draw big numbers anyway, and now it's really going to lean that direction, because you need to give people a reason. I can't miss this film. I cannot. I am willing to go out there and risk my health to see this film, because it's not coming out on video on demand. I can't see it at home. I need to see the conclusion of this. I think nostalgia is playing a part in this, because Jurassic World 3, they're bringing back the original actors from Jurassic Park, Dr. Grant, Ian Malcolm, Dr. Sadler, bringing back the original OG cast on that film. Spider-Verse 3, you got that rumored appeal of having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back on that shit. Tobey Maguire.
Pizza time.
Pizza time. You know, you got that. That's an appeal. Like, man, I'm willing. Fanboys are willing to risk their lives to go see that shit, man. Other than that, those two other films, you have like sequels and light sequels, and like you said, the beginning phase of the next MCU. Maybe Doctor Strange in the multiverse, because there's an appeal to that where you might see cameos of, like, Tom Cruise was supposed to be cast as he allegedly, I think, auditioned for Iron Man, Tony Stark, and now you're going to see an alternative reality possibly with him in the Doctor Strange movie. So stuff like that might give people an appeal as well. But like you said, you need big spectacle. You need something huge and monumental that you can't miss. And unfortunately, there's not a movie that's being built up to that point. Maybe Spider-Man 3 with the potential live-action Spider-Verse, the only film I see that I can see that has like a 10-year build-up. Because if you think from Tobey Maguire 2001 to like 2020, 20-year build-up for the most part to see that come to life. Other than that, there's nothing else. There's nothing that can literally save AMC right now, where people are not going to want to see it at home, see it on streaming, or damn pirate the damn thing, sail the high seas. So, I mean, even with immunization, it's not going to do it. Even if you did a video game party, hey, $99, $50, you guys can play Mario Kart on the big screen. I don't think that would still do it. Or Halo on the big screen, that wouldn't do it. Like, and I mean, there's nothing really but a government bailout. Possibly, but only that could prolong it for so long. I mean, if they say we'll give you $100 billion or $10 billion to help you out till 2022, even in 2022, those butts still ain't gonna be in those seats, man. To where it's where you can get 40 million, 30 million in a weekend. And I know New York City just reopened up, and I know New York City is one of the big premier markets for American box office, but it's not enough to revive the whole box office numbers for Hollywood. So they're in trouble. And I think streaming and all of the streaming wars is going to get very intense, and it's going to get very competitive coming up. And I think we're already seeing those wheels being turned on that regard. So that's all I got, man, on AMC you're going to have to just beg Hollywood to make something big enough for people to risk their lives to see. Because honestly, the lineup that they have right now, it's not going to suffice.
Well, I mean, it's not like the movies that they have coming out aren't big enough. Because if this was any other time and we weren't going through a pandemic, some of these movies that are coming out would just be box office hits.
Yeah, Mulan would have made $1 billion.
I'm not gonna talk about Mulan because I am not supporting that movie. One, because Disney thought they were trying to be slick, charging me how much money for Disney Plus, and then you want me to pay an extra $30 on top of that to watch the movie.
You just had to wait it out.
You know, there was that, and then also, you know, China wants to be funny with human rights issues, and we don't play that. So, that's all I'm gonna say on Mulan and China about that. I'm not supporting it that way, but yeah, there's nothing that's coming out that's big enough to make people want to risk their lives to go and see it. But something that I may want to risk my life to go see, because recently we just saw it. Did y'all see the picture of Tom Holland as Nathan Drake in the new Uncharted movie?
Yeah, he looked good, man.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a hardcore, just very very hardcore Uncharted Naughty Dog fan. I love Uncharted. I love The Last of Us. You know, Crash Bandicoot. You know, before they went to Activision. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, cause from off the bat, you know, Nolan North, who is, you know, Nathan Drake's voice actor as well as his mocap actor. You know, he's done a phenomenal job. You know, Nolan North is an amazing voice actor. So obviously, when you come out, you know, when Sony comes out and says, "Hey, we're making a movie based off of one of our top franchises," and you don't have the voice actor playing his part, but we're gonna bring in Spider-Man to play this part. Obviously, there's be a little pushback. People were like, "Well, Tom Holland's too young to play." Okay, we know Uncharted 1 when it came out on PlayStation 3, Drake was like in his late 20s, early 30s. You know, they've already said that this is supposed to be a younger take of Nathan Drake. This is supposed to be him younger when he first met Sully, his mentor, when they were first getting into treasure hunting and pulling off heists and different things of that nature and whatnot. From the picture I saw, he looked phenomenal for what it looked like. He had to look down. Obviously, it's Tom Holland, so you're going to have to get past the face of, hey, this is Tom Holland, you know, not Nathan Drake. But just from what I've seen and from what I heard, you know, Sony is working very, very closely. The director's working very, very closely with Naughty Dog, with Neil Druckmann and team to make sure that it's very on point for what they're trying to do with the movie. If I had a gripe with anything in it so far, it's hearing that Mark Wahlberg is going to be Sully. Now, for any of you listeners out there who have played Uncharted, and I know a lot of you have, you know Sully is the white beard, just wisecracking, just smart-ass old guy who's just always, you know, there to pull Nathan out of the fire whenever things get too hot. Don't get me wrong, Mark Wahlberg is an amazing actor for what he does, but when you look at Mark Wahlberg, you don't see the character that he's playing. You see Mark Wahlberg. Exactly. It's like Samuel L. Jackson. The only time I've ever seen a movie that I didn't think it was Samuel L. Jackson playing Samuel L. Jackson was in the MCU when he's playing Nick Fury. Because when he plays, okay, I'm seeing Nick Fury. I'm not seeing, I mean, I know it's Samuel L. Jackson, but I'm seeing Nick Fury like he was in the comics.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, no matter what Mark Wahlberg plays, you see Marky Mark and the Funky, you know what I mean? Like Ted, Mark Wahlberg. Max Payne, Mark Wahlberg. What was it? The Fog or whatever it was, Mark Wahlberg. So it's like, okay, you're supposed to play the mentor of one of Sony's biggest, you know, franchise heroes. It's gonna be Mark Wahlberg. I mean, are they gonna give him a beard? Are they gonna give? I mean, he's probably younger, so I guess he wouldn't have like a full white beard at that point. But it's just like I don't know. Like it feels like it's one of those things where Sony is sacrificing continuity and trying to be true to the story with getting star power to bring people into the seats. Tom Holland by himself, it should be enough. I mean, Tom Holland Tom Holland's on fire right now.
He has help. He always has help. If you notice in his films, they give him support in the MCU, Iron Man, Jake Gyllenhaal, they get and Michael Keaton, and then also that new Netflix movie he was in, that Robert Pattinson and a couple other heavy. He gets the assist. He gets a good assist. I'll just say that.
So I'm guessing that's what Sony was thinking. They're like, okay, he's okay, but I guess he's. But that's the whole entire thing, though. He's been in 2 successful Spider-Man movies now. So at this point, people are going to see Spider-Man to see Tom Holland, with the possibility of you may seeing these other characters around. So we'll see how that works. Now, granted, I don't know. I mean, they're still in the process of filming the movie. We don't know if Sony is going to do like all the other companies and possibly studios and possibly put it on digital distribution, which if they do, they'll probably put it on a PlayStation that you could buy for a discount or what have you and go from there, possibly. But, I mean, I feel like that could be one of those movies that if it's done really well, you could potentially see people come back out and go watch it, depending on when it comes out. I mean,
possibly. What do you think, Orion? What do you feel, man?
Actually, to piggyback off of like Tom Holland's acting chops and his capability, like I do agree with Deon, and he is a great assist, But at the same time, he does have the capability to take you away from who Tom Holland is. You don't just see Tom Holland because he's got the English accent to him, so he's able to pull off coming from New York, and he did a really good job being a country dude from I forgot what state he was in and stuff like that, but he pulled that off pretty well. I was like, all right, well, he's got it down, so. But that face, you just can't deter away from that. That's like, yeah, that's Tom Holland, but his acting chops alone could take you away, and make you think that he's a different character and stuff, But other than that, man, like with Uncharted, should be finishing up, and it's being under Sony supervision and the supervision of the Naughty Dog's development or production team. My biggest thing now is if it doesn't enter in theaters and stuff like that, we're looking at possible streaming devices, and you pretty much can. I mean, Sony is not going to waste that money, but they're going to try. You could definitely see it being streamed on Sony's PlayStation platform, through Sony's video, whatever the fuck you call it. I've never used it, but it's definitely going to be on there. Now, my thing is because of the fact of the matter is the theaters go straight to, said forth platform, whether if it's on Netflix, Hulu. I mean, come on now, Amazon's getting Borat, Yeah. So I was like, so I gotta go to Amazon to go check that movie out. All right, but.
Content war continues, man.
I mean, so we're looking at a digital monopoly going on here, but I mean, you gotta also think about it too, man. Like, if people are not going in theaters, they're spending heavily on home theater systems, and they're looking at buying 8K TVs, even though we're not looking at anything at 8K. There's no reason to be an early adopter of 8K, but people are getting 4K TVs, especially come whatever is going to be of Black Friday and whatever is going to be of Cyber Monday. But people are going to be buying new and brand new systems for their household, especially if they're not going to be going to movie theaters. And so you're going to have to be on the lookout at it. There's going to be a flux on sound bars, a flux on straight surround, Dolby Atmos surround sound systems and stuff like that. So that's going to definitely happen, and it's going to definitely cripple the movie theater industry and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my those are my talking points on those matters and stuff like that. Is I wish the movie theater industry luck. I wish the movie production studios luck on capitalizing and definitely making back on their investment, because they're really investing a lot of millions and millions and trying to get your capital back. Seeing how much did Mulan invested it up front and didn't get in it, only got a quarter of that back.
Nowhere near, and that's just the box. That's the gap that needs to be bridged with. You got the weekend box office numbers, because the theaters don't get a good chunk of that. box office openings for the first 3 weeks mostly goes to the movie production and those companies. It's later on, week 4, week 3, week 5, that the theater actually gets a larger portion of the pie. So they can bridge that gap of profit into the streaming, whether it be the video on demand, $30, and you're like, damn, well, here's the 30, and then they get a little bit more of that back. They're gonna have to bridge that gap before they go all chips in on streaming. So I got 3 movies getting people butts back in seat. All right, Justice League versus Avengers. I got the Frozen live action with the Disney princess crossover.
Possibly.
Every live action Disney princess.
That may actually get people to the
Every live action Disney princess in one film.
Okay.
And then the biggest crossover of them all, Bad Boys meets Fast and Furious.
You know what? I'm done with you. You know. All right, that's
Hey,
it.
Will Smith, call me up.
That's it.
I'm gonna get the script done for you
Shut
guys.
the episode down right here. We are done. The episode is over with. Right here. It's done.
3-parter right there.
All right, guys, I'm glad you guys tuned in to our Homeboy Talk podcast. I'm glad you guys also get a chance to enjoy our talking points. We're going to go ahead and end things off here. Be sure to check out our future podcast topics in the end. Also, be sure to check out our social media handles down below in the description. All right, we're out of here.
Peace. Wear your masks.